Hello and welcome to Arcare Aged Care industry. I would like to introduce myself and my colleagues. So my name is Jasmine, and I'm with Alana and Lily with me during this video. So we are part of the Employment Relations Specialist team at Arcare, and during this video we will give some information about Arcare Aged Care facility in this video. Based on this video, we will go through step by step sections to give you some insights and general knowledge about our care aged care industry. So first, we going through to the enterprise agreements and the relevant unions, which is covered by our lovely team member Alana. And next, we will talking about the factors of historical significance, RK and EBA, and the key elements of the Arcare HK, which is covered by my lovely colleague Lily. And next, we will talking about the recommendations, which is covered by myself. And finally, we will give you a final overview of our care aged care industry.
Enterprise agreements are contracts concerning terms and conditions of employment that are made at the enterprise level between the employees, and their union. These agreements can cover such things as wages and conditions of work for a period up to 4 years from the date of approval. These enterprise agreements can consist of two: single enterprise agreements and multi-enterprise agreements. Setting up a legally binding, enforceable set of employment norms, entitlements, conditions, and protection is something that many workers, companies, and unions do with great success. The organisation with discussion is Arcare Aged Care. The agreement is called Arcare Pty Ltd ANMF and HW Victoria Enterprise Agreement 2021. The process to make a new enterprise agreement, no matter if it's a single or multi-enterprise agreement, can be complex and time-consuming, in which the timeframe is set by the Fair Work Act 2009. To make these enterprise agreements, there are rules about the process that all parties, consisting of employers, employees, and their representatives, need to follow. There are also rules which need to be included in the enterprise agreement so that it can be approved by the commissions. There are 6 steps in total in order to make an enterprise agreement for any organisation. These are as listed: plan to make an agreement, start the bargaining process, develop the agreement, prepare employees to vote, apply for the approval, and commission issues a decision. There are 2 relevant unions that play a part in the organisation, or just the bargaining process in general. These are both the Aged Care Workers Union, which stems from the Health Workers Union, and then the ANMF, which is the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation, and Health Workers. The Aged Care Workers Union is just a division of the Health Workers Union that holds the distinction of being one of Australia's largest health unions, covering for majority of the healthcare sector, with a rich history dating back to 1911 and advocating for the rights of workers ever since then. The ANMF is just a bargaining representative for the agreement stated in the Arcare Enterprise Agreement 2021, which can be seen within the first few pages of the bargaining process. There's also going to be another one coming up shortly, considering it's only a 4-year process. It also acts as a professional, instructional, and political body for all their members, and is a collective voice for more than 326,000 nurses, midwives, and carers to advance the career and improve their health and well-being of all Australians.
Arcare, like many other aged care providers, has been involved in the enterprise bargaining processes aimed at securing wage increases for its employees. Historically, these agreements have included wage increases of around 2 to 2.5% annually, with agreements spanning 2 to 3 years. While these wage increments were a step forward, many disputes have arisen, particularly around the need for improving staff levels. One of the central issues has been the push to meet the 200 care minutes per resident per day recommendation, a key finding from the Royal Commission into Aged Care. This staffing issue, combined with the demands for improved working conditions for nurses and personal care workers, has been a consistent point of contention. Unions have pushed for advanced professional development and training opportunities as a part of these negotiations, reflecting broader concerns about the quality of care and working conditions within the aged care sector. The bargaining process has also been impacted by external factors such as COVID-19, the federal election, and changes in government funding, particularly those expected into 2022 or happened in 2022. These factors added complexity and delays to negotiations, increasing tensions between management and employees. The most notable development occurred in 2023 when the Fair Work Commission awarded aged care workers a 15% pay rise. Following the recommendations from the Royal Commission to Aged Care and Safety, this wage increase was initiated by a strong union advocacy from the Healthcare Service Union, HSU, and the Australian Nursing and Midwife Federation, ANMF. Was a significant win for direct care workers such as nurses and personal care staff. However, unions remain unsatisfied, continuing to advocate for a broader 25% wage increase to include administrative and support staff. This ongoing demand signals potential challenges in future enterprise bargaining as management must address these wider workforce concerns. In addition to wage issues, Arcare has faced scrutiny regarding complaints from residents' families of unpaid services and fees, including charges for services they were not provided. Families have escalated these issues into the Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission, ACQSC, resulting in regulatory investigations and actions. Although these complaints are primarily focused on resident services, they reflect deeper management issues that could influence employee morale and trust in leadership. Additionally, workforce disputes during the pandemic heightened tensions between staff and management. As employees face increased workloads and struggled to meet care expectations, these disputes further fueled concerns over pay, staffing levels, and working conditions, which continue to be a source of friction. Finally, regulatory bodies have issued directions to Arcare regarding transparency and accountability, particularly about service charges and care standards. These issues, while affecting residents, also highlight challenges in workforce management. Aircare's ability to navigate these regulatory pressures and improve conditions for both staff and residents will be crucial as they enter the next round of enterprise agreement. Despite these increased government funding, including an additional 10.1 billion allocated to the Australian National Aged Care Classification AN-ACC over 4 years from 2023 to 2024 and onwards. Aircare management must address these concerns raised by unions and address further conflict to avoid this ever so present issue. The combination of past disputes, regulatory scrutiny, and the ongoing union demands for higher wages and better working conditions creates a complex environment that could significantly affect the organisation's relationship with employees and their representatives moving forward. The next round of enterprise bargaining for Arcare should focus on two crucial areas: wages and working conditions. These issues have been crucial to the aged care industry, and recent developments to ensure that Aircare is prepared, they need to outline their main key points going into the negotiation. These points include the wage increase precedent set by the recent increases of awards to nurses and other healthcare providers, such as the 15% increase. They also need to account for the ever increasing cost of living narrative, inflation. The shortage of workers and need to retain staff is ultimately crucial and something that needs to be taken into negotiations, and the findings of the recent Royal Commissions into the aged care and regulatory requirements to implement the changes to the industry and its recommendations. It also needs to understand the facts and its wants and needs from the negotiation, and it also needs to go in with an open mind, ensuring that they hear not only their own side, but the side against them.
As my colleague explained and mentioned, we're focusing on the two key elements at Arcare. So from the wages, we will come up with the three recommendations, which is we can ensure all the employees receive the recommended 15% wage increase, and also considering adjusting a pricing to maintain a profitability while implementing a necessary wage increase. And finally, implement effective rostering and provide some opportunities for breaks and create a supportive work environment for all staff members. And finally, for working conditions, we can advocating for minimum staffing ratios to enhance the care quality to reduce staff stress and anxiety. And finally, investing in training programs and improve the care quality and enhance the employee satisfaction and also finally promote a career progression. There are 4 simple steps to follow in the next round of EBA negotiations. So the first step is the preparation, the data gathering. So with the first option, we can create a diverse team representing a various employees group to ensure all concerns are addressed. And the team members at the Arcare should have a deep understanding of the aged care industry and its trends and the specific challenges faced by Arcare in a diverse perspective, and ensure the team reflects the diversity of the workforce, including the different roles, different departments, and different experiences. And next, we can collect the data on the wages, working conditions, staff ratio, and other relevant metrics to support your bargaining position, and also the financial performance, such as total revenue generated and from aged care services and net profit margin. And lastly, we can conduct a survey or create a focus group to gather employees for feedback and prioritize their concerns. And next is to develop a clear bargaining objective, which we can prioritize the issues based on the data, employee feedback. So we can prioritize the key bargaining objectives such as wage increase, staff ratios, and working conditions. Further step is to monitor and evaluate the progress, so we can keep detailed records of negotiations, including agreements, concessions, outstanding issues, and regularly assess the progress to make towards achieving their bargaining objective. And finally, be prepared to adjust this strategy if circumstances change or new information become available. And the final step is engaging collaborative negotiations, which is foster an open and honest communication with the Arcare and employer, and actively listening and perspective for seeking common ground, and be prepared to compare on a certain compromise on a certain issues while remaining from one core demand. And finally, approach the negotiations with a positive and constructive mindset, even in a challenging situation. As my colleague explained about our relevant unions, if the negotiations for the next EBA between Arcare and Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation, ANMF, and Health Workers Union, HWU, experience a breakdown for somehow, these recommendations we come up to bring up a solution. So the first one is a mediation or arbitration. So we can in a mediation, a neutral third party can facilitate a discussion between the parties to help them to find a mutually agreeable solution. Arbitration, if the mediation fails, a neutral arbitrator can make a binding discussions on the dispute. So just a quick note, so the factors to consider when choosing a mediator or arbitrator, when selecting a neutral third party, we can consider a person with a highly experienced, so with experience in EBA negotiations and the aged care industry. We can find a neutrality, so the mediator or arbitrator should impartial and have no vested interest in the outcome. Communication skills, which is an important part, so the individual should be able to facilitate the effective communication between the parties. And finally, a flexibility, so the mediator or arbitrator should be willing to explore different options, different solutions, and come up with the different ideas and suggestions. And the next step is the favor commission involvement. So the first option is a bargaining dispute. So if the dispute arises during the enterprise bargaining negotiations, the favor commission can intervene to assist in reaching an agreement to resolve a dispute. Next option is an unfair dismissal claim. So if an employee is dismissed, they may file a claim with the favor commission and alleging an unfair dismissal. And the last option is other industrial relation matters. So the favor can also handle the other industrial relations issues such as the workplace dispute or breaches of the workplace laws and policy procedures at the workplace. And the final recommendation is a public relations and advocacy. So first option is media engagement, which the parties might engage with the media and publish their positions and build a public support. And the next option is advocacy of the government. So the unions could lobby the government officials to support full support or intervention. At this slide, so we are just going to thank you for watching this video. As a team, we really appreciated your time. And here you can find some of the useful references such as relevant articles from the aged care facilities and also relevant and update reports from the Australian government for your further knowledge. And thank you again.